This is the plaintiff, Ann Budker. She says she hired the defendant to render drawings of a roof to cover her second-story patio. And the guy botched the job with the town. The application was denied due to the incompetence of the defendant's drawings and design. And she's here suing him for the return of her $800. This is the defendant, Dennis Dugan. He says he's a certified architect, and he sat down with the plaintiff and her husband, and they described their vision for the patio roof to him. He suggested they go a little simpler because he knows the community board where they live can be strict about the types of things they will and won't allow in their neighborhood. The design was turned down, and he explained the board always turns down the first rendering because they want to meet with you and convince you to do things their way. The plaintiff became verbally abusive towards him, decided to sue, so here they are. He's accused of getting rejected. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,612, the remaining balance of his fee.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Ann Budker, you are suing Dennis Dugan, your former architect, for $800, a return of a deposit that you gave him for some drawings. You're counterclaiming the remaining balance that you say is owed for those drawings, $1,600 and some change. Let me hear from you. You have a home in what town?
We have a home in Forest Hills Gardens, which is I brought as an exhibit to show you as a preserved community.
Historic district?
Historic district.
And this is Forest Hills?
Forest Hills Gardens.
In New York?
In New York.
Okay, can I see
Queens.
It? All right,
and,
so you had a house and you had a balcony.
And I have, this is a picture of my home with extension. What I filed an application to put a roof over the balcony.
Okay. Now, when you filed your application to put a roof over the balcony, they told you get an architect.
I was allowed to file. First, I would like to give you just very short presentation that Forest Hills Gardens Corporation very strictly works under architecture and construction procedures and guidelines.
Yes, I know. Okay, but that's okay. So that's not in dispute. But they told you you need to get an architect and do real drawings, not your drawings, right?
Not first. They said I was allowed to file, and I did file application.
And then they told you to get an architect.
No, then they said I could get, but I submitted sketch done by Joseph.
And then what did they say?
Then I decided that I would need an architect, and I was suggested Mr. Dugan.
You hire him to do it. Now, let me ask you, how long have you been an architect?
I retired this year.
How long were you an architect?
Before that, 48 years.
Oh, my goodness. All right, and did you have a written retainer with them?
Yes.
May I see it? And so, according to the written retainer, you would be charging $200 an hour?
Yes.
All right, so now, here's what I would like to know. So you meet with them, and they tell you what they want. And what happens? You have a contract that says, I will inform you in 8-hour increments of my time and will bill you, meaning you'll tell her, okay, this is going to be another 8 hours just so that it doesn't get out of hand.
Out of hand, exactly.
All right. And bill you on a monthly basis. So what did you do for them?
Met with them preliminarily, agreed to sign it. They agreed to sign a contract. They paid my retainer.
So they paid you $800?
That's right. Then they gave me some documents which I could use to submit, to base my plans on, that I would submit, that I would then submit to the architectural committee for their approval. Which I've done probably 12 or 15 submissions for different clients at Forest Hills, and there's probably one that went through the first time.
Had you explained that to your clients?
Yes, of course.
Now, their denial was rather, it said they unanimously denied it because they thought it made the house look too heavy. They didn't think it would be in keeping with the rest of the house.
I believe what they said in the letter is that they thought it exaggerated the asymmetry of the house.
Exaggerated the asymmetry of the house. All right, and then what happens when when do you send the bill? According to you, your bill is $2,400 plus a few more bucks. And minus the $800 you've already been paid, that's why you're suing for $1,612. What I'd like to know is, when did you send them the bill for the other amount?
I think
before or after it was rejected?
It was shortly after, I think.
Wouldn't it be a better idea to send the bill before it's rejected?
Not really. Normally I get paid.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm successful.
Right.
That's why Forest Hills Gardens recommended me to them.
Did you know it wasn't going to get approved?
I thought it was very likely that they would certainly have objections, but I thought this is typical. I assumed that we would work through the objections.
And when you talked to her, did you tell her, well, look, we're just going to have to go back and we're going to have to do this or that? And
yes, I did.
And what happened?
Well, we subsequently met physically, and she just started berating my prior work that I had done for another client, that she started being abusive, calling me incompetent, stupid, and I said, we really can't continue working like this.
Okay. All right. Did you send your bill after she called you incompetent or before she called you incompetent?
I have no idea.
Okay. So let me hear from you. Why do you feel that he should have to return the $800 and that you should not have to pay the remaining $1,600?
Okay. After our first meeting, we signed the contract for the design phase to be presented, to review, and to get suggestions from the board members before a real gardens meeting for
wait.
For
where are you getting that from? That you would meet with the board
according
beforehand?
to the rules and regulation.
Okay,
and
I want you, whoa.
I have a letter.
Hold on.
Okay.
Show me where it says that he's supposed to, that the board is going to take the time to meet with him before he submits something.
Yes. And
no, don't say and. I want exactly what I just said.
Preliminary review.
Okay, hand that to my bailiff.
And his letter that...
No, not and. I am still trying to see what you're talking about. I don't let litigants make proclamations without backing them up. So now I'm looking at the backup. Hold on.
I may just...
No, you mean... Are you kidding me? Do you see me reading what you just asked me to look at? Submission requirements. When did all this happen? 2014?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
A week for us.
I have no idea.
So what's a procedure after a denial? How do you get their feedback?
All right, then they set up a subcommittee of like 3 or 4 members.
Right.
And then I meet with them.
Right.
And we go through the drawings.
To try to figure out what you got to do in order to get it approved.
Exactly.
Right, because they're not going to approve something before they approve something. You can meet with people and get insight, but I'm not sure what you feel he didn't do.
After denial, he didn't do anything.
Well, that's because you called him an incompetent and you were insulted and you guys had a breakdown. So it's time to hire another architect. If you don't like him, you don't have to use him. But did you ever get another architect? Because what he drew was what you wanted. You instructed him how you wanted it.
He didn't do what I wanted. He even didn't show to us. He submitted last day. Look at his dates and description and his invoice. It was just back and forth elevations, but it was never agreed with us as a final.
He can't submit how you want it to look unless he knows how you want it to look. That's how you wanted it to look, right?
No.
Oh, how did you want it to look?
You have it. You have it, my original application. We wanted...
Okay, give me that. No, give this to my bailiff.
Whenever it will be approved, that's what we want.
And
I know,
if
but...
he would go to preliminary meeting, he would know what
he would have a better picture, but he never did.
This is what he drew. Okay, who put the
This is what my husband had a sketches.
Somebody took a pen and did.
I did.
Right, and that's what the man did. I'm not sure what you're saying.
We didn't want such a strong element of the roof because
I'm not sure what you think is the difference between.
Not because we want. We need a roof. Any roof.
I know. Are you under the impression that if it gets denied, you don't have to pay him?
For what? He never met with the appointed committee.
He's supposed to do
Wait,
this.
first of all, we were had appointed committee before anything for discussion and review. He never met with the appointed committee. He never went for preliminary informal meeting. He admitted himself. So meaning he didn't talk to them as having conversation discussions. What would be approvable?
What is the preliminary review?
That is the first submission.
Is there some review that she thinks should have happened before the review?
There is none. As I gave you the documents, they do not, the architectural committee does not meet with architects or owners prior to the first submission of the schematics.
Right, like why is it you think that the preliminary review, it says you have to submit a signed and dated application together with 3 types of drawings. That's what the man did. So what is it you think, you know, he should have been doing? Approaching each of them individually and kind of greasing the...
No, before he submitted, he should discuss what is approvable.
Where do you see that? That's not anywhere.
This is what they saying when you go...
Do you have that in writing anywhere, that he's supposed to discuss it with them and get their feedback without submitting the form, the application? See, this is what you showed me. This is what you showed me to back up what you're saying.
I hoped to have informal meeting that he never, and he promised to us.
Okay.
This is what was a point for informal meeting to find out what they think it's whatever approvable.
Okay, I got it. What did you want to say?
Correct.
What did you want to say?
I just wanted to ask for the date of that letter that
you should have it. You should have it.
All right. And,
if you send it to me, something,
don't talk to him directly.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if the architect submits the plans to the city rejects the plans, does the customer get the money back?
Yes, definitely.
Why?
Well, because the architect should know better.
Well, except sometimes the architect's doing what the customer wants, and if the customer wants something and the guy tries to get it through and it doesn't, why should the architect have to lose?
Why should he lose?
Yeah.
I don't think he should lose.
Oh, okay. So why should he win then?
Well, I guess I'd have to know the arrangement between the architect and the client, but I don't know that he guaranteed whatever his work was going to do was going to pass code.
Interesting. So no guarantee. That's actually very interesting. No guarantee. Go inside the courtroom.
I gave you the rules of how it works.
Well, those are the rules now in 2018. I have no idea what the rules were in 2014.
I assume. I'm now retired.
And she's within the statute of limitations.
It's not.
Please.
Honest to God, I don't know how anybody can work with you. I'm a judge and you keep interrupting me. But in any event, this is the drawing you approved. He didn't send it to them without you approving it. It's what you asked for. You know, the architect doesn't send what he wants. He sends what you want. And when it's rejected, the next step is to say, okay, let's figure out what we can do that they will approve. It's the next natural, normal step. If you decide you don't want to go through the next natural, normal steps, then don't, okay? If you want to show me that, I'm going to look at it, but that doesn't mean you keep talking. Hand that document to my bailiff, please.
That he ending his agreement, not me.
At our meeting yesterday, Ann's words to describe my work for other clients and me personally made me realize that you have lost confidence in my ability to help you in your project. We also seem to have great difficulty communicating with one another. Therefore, now is the time to end our agreement and go our separate ways. Absolutely. Sounds like he didn't want to be insulted. You may find the following points helpful.
Insulted?
And then he ends up saying all the things that he thinks you might be able to do. I would appreciate you paying my outstanding invoice, less the $800 deposit, and I will return your plans. I wish you the best should you decide to proceed with roofing over your terraces. Okay, so I have looked at the hours spent, and I'm going to cut back some of your hours. However, on your lawsuit against him to return the deposit, I'm ruling in his favor. He doesn't need to return the deposit. The man worked for you, okay? If it turned out that you guys, you know, could no longer work together, he felt that you couldn't work together or whatever it is, then that's the way it worked out. But work got done for you, and when work gets done for you, just because it doesn't turn out your way doesn't mean you don't have to pay. This happens to everybody all the time. When the committee denies it, then you have to keep working. But that doesn't mean he didn't put hours in. And so, no, I'm not going to order the return of the $800. Now, I do have a question for you. In the 4 years that have transpired, how come you haven't pursued the remaining money?
Well, I really didn't feel I was going to have any luck with it, and I certainly wouldn't go to court over it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order on your counterclaim against her. I am going to order an additional $800 be paid to Mr. Dugan. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff loses and the defendant wins. You end up having to pay him $800, more of his fee, which is still due. How do you feel about this?
What do you think? How I feel? I feel it was not right because the judge didn't listen, and this is what I was upset with.
You know, one gets the impression you're a little difficult to deal with, you know
No,
that?
she didn't let me start to present myself.
Ms. Bedker, I hate to interrupt you, but she listened to you, she read the documents you submitted.
No, she interrupted me all the time. I was,
she's a little tough to deal with.
No, I'm not tough. It was exactly...
Ma'am, we're out of time. I'm really sorry for it.
No, you don't have to sorry.
Okay.
Why are you sorry about that?
Thank you very much. There's nothing that change this. Mr. Dugan, I think you were right to bow out when you did.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, she made my case.
Well, you are going to get some $800 back. How about that?
I'm thrilled.
Maybe she's why you retired. Is that right?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm old enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome.
Okay, Doug, well, I got to say, he hit it literally on the head because it's true that unless there is a specific clause in the contract that says the architect guarantees that it will pass inspection, all the architect has to do is use reasonable skill and judgment in developing the plans. And if he does that, even if the city rejects it, the architect gets his money. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.